Hey everybody, John Greenwald here with theblackvault.com. Here's a quick story for you, just an update about a development this week for all you UFO fans out there. And this really hasn't happened since, I think, 2021. And that is the publishing of a leaked UAP, what is a photo, but it's more of a still frame, allegedly, from a 4-second video. Now, again, this hasn't happened since 2021. And if you recall, that 2021 UAP report published by the government had kind of this lead up, this ramp up of these leaks that came out. Quite a few different photographs that had surfaced that were published by George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell. The Debrief also had another one, I think in late 2020, I think it was. And it was so bizarre because all these leaks were happening. I mean, it was like leaking like a sieve from the Pentagon, and then nothing. The report came out, and then zip. Only rumors, mostly those surrounding Jeremy Corbell specifically, that there were more, but he had yet to publish them. Well, this last week, he actually did. And so it's been, again, quite some time, but him and George Knapp, they're starting a podcast. Let me just go ahead and pull up this visual here. So this is the page that I published on the Black Vault. So for you that watch the site or watch me on social media, you may have seen this already, but this is the article that I published on it. It just kind of gives a little bit of the background, but here's the photo itself. Now, again, the podcast Weaponized is what they're calling it. Make sure I got that title right. Go to weaponizedpodcast.com. Jeremy Corbell, you can see here, George Knapp over here. They just launched their premiere episode, and in their normal style, dropped kind of a doozy on everybody and published this leaked photograph. Now, why do I say leaked? Well, it is. It's not an official release. I am not entirely sure when Jeremy got it. Some of the background that he gave on it was that it was from a 2020 May 1st, to be exact, classified briefing that some of those other leaked images had come from. Now, I don't know this for sure, but one may assume that maybe the source is the same. I'm starting to realize maybe who that source is. No need for me to try and out anybody, but after this last one, the wording, some of the details surrounding it, I think if you guys put two and two together, you can start to think of some names, one of which in particular I think stands out. But we'll see. We'll see if that comes to fruition. I'm not trying to be secretive. I just don't want to make any unfounded accusations of somebody being a leaker when I am not so sure yet. But we'll see how some stuff plays out. But regardless, it's from this classified briefing where the Office of Naval Intelligence had created this briefing. And apparently, again, those past images came from the same. And Jeremy Corbell happened to get this image. Let me scroll back up to it. I won't go through all the details for you. The main thing here that's most important is the fact that it happened in 2016, April 16th to be exact, day before my birthday, actually. So that's kind of fun. But the image is what you see here. I'll pop up kind of a bigger image here. The highest resolution that I have is on that web page. You can also see it down below here on YouTube in the link description. It will go directly over to it. You can download the photo. Let me see if I could just kind of pull it up here really quick. There we go. So this is like the highest resolution you can get. And so I'm kind of losing my bearing there on the image. There it is. This silver ball looking object is what we are talking about. According to Jeremy Corbell, it is considered and classified a UAP. The overall image is unclassified, even though it's from a classified briefing. And it's taken over an active war zone, Mosul, Iraq, to be exact. Now, Mosul is, or the Mosul Orb is what they are calling this. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't have an opinion either way on this. Is it interesting? Of course. Because there's one thing about Jeremy Corbell that has always intrigued me. I, as you know, am not a fan of leaked material whatsoever. I hate it, I despise it, and often speak out against it. But here's the thing about Jeremy. even though this is leaked material from anonymous sources, which is the other half of my statement I wanted to say that I absolutely despise, Jeremy comes through every time. And why I say comes through is everything else that he has published that he alleged was from a DoD UAP task force briefing or something similar, the Pentagon has confirmed it. Now, I've tried in the same way when this was published within not too long, but that morning when I saw it, the questions from me fired off to the Pentagon pretty quick. But I have yet to hear anything back, which is actually kind of bizarre because those last leaks in 2021, they were very quick. In some cases, within hours, getting back to me saying, oh, yeah, these are legitimate photos and these are being utilized by the UAP task force. What they would not do, despite reports, and anybody can prove me wrong if I'm wrong, but I have yet to see it, because I tried to stay on top of it as best as I could. They never said that they were considered unidentified. They only said that the imagery was being utilized by the UAP task force. So what does that mean? That they're truly unidentified and they're using that as an example of unidentified craft? They are identified and they are using them as an example of a drone, balloon, whatever the object is. In what capacity were they being utilized? And we don't know. When it comes to this image, same deal here. I'm going to assume that the Pentagon will eventually come back and say that it's real. I don't have any reason to doubt it at this point. And with Jeremy's track record on this, hey, I'm just going to kind of go forward with the small assumption that it is legitimate, but whether or not it is considered unidentified to the military is another question entirely. But I at least wanted to go ahead and give this to you guys, at least the short story anyway. I invite you to watch the full video clip here that I embedded from Jeremy's channel on theblackvault.com. Again, link below. All of this information will give you a lot more detail from Jeremy Corbell. And the last thing I will close with, two things actually, is that credit to Twitter user Flarky on this one. They geolocated on Google Earth the location that's determined from the frame, the information in the frame, and we're able to pinpoint it to Mosul, Iraq, and actually got the street that the photograph was taken over. So if you could put that into your memory bank there for a split second, I will go back up to the image itself, and that's a match. So credit to user Flarky for that, to track that down. So in other words, it's confirmed that this is over Mosul. Everything looks legitimate in that regard. It wasn't, placeholder template information laid over a fake photo. This looked legitimate. And on top of that, this is a still frame. I mentioned very briefly there in the beginning. It's a still frame from a alleged 4-second video. Now, I have no reason to believe that is false information, again, given Jeremy's track record. So the question mark is, where is it? And that's what I've tried to kind of figure out for you guys before I did this video. Sadly, I've been unable to do that. Number one, I tried to get the Pentagon to confirm it, and they're mum. They have not even acknowledged my request. Some of you may ask who is involved in that. Yes, Susan Goff is somebody I contacted, but I also contacted the press office duty officer. And what essentially they do is they field all the questions. Will it get routed to Susan Goff? Most likely. However, I did that just as an extra step to try and get some kind of word back because, again, Susan Goff and the duty officer entirely mum about this. Now, granted, it's only been about a day and a half since these were published online, but given their past speediness of a response, it kind of stuck out to me as odd they didn't even acknowledge the request, at least by the time of recording this video. So you'll be able to download all of that on the website, and that's it. I'm open to your ideas on what exactly that is. Again, I like to bring information forward to you guys without saying, well, I think it's a water drop on the lens or a balloon that was captured or CGI. I just don't like doing that. I don't consider myself an image analyst with unmatched expertise. I can do certain things and figure certain things out, but I am not going to lie to you guys and say I've totally nailed this one or any other for that matter. So I'm open to your collective thought. I just bring you the information and dig where I can. And I lied. One last thought. Yes, before you guys ask in the comments, have you filed FOIA requests? I did that the moment all of this was published to CENTCOM. In addition, for all you FOIA sleuths out there, you may find that I was actually digging on another case at CENTCOM, different date, different technology that captured it, and we'll see if that pans out. So we'll see if any of you maybe stumble on that as you sift through FOIA logs and such. But that said, this I'm also digging on. Also, we'll see what we come up with CENTCOM. Who knows? Or the DoD in general. I filed to both in case CENTCOM transferred over that information and no longer has it. So we'll see how it plays out. And of course, when that happens, I'll bring it to you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. As always, a big thumbs up on the video is a big help. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you do so and turn the notifications on. That way you get notified when I am live, which I do so often. And you'll also probably see a live broadcast hopefully soon. And whenever videos drop, you'll get notified as well. That said, this is John Greenwald Jr. signing off, and we'll see you next time.